Good day to all the gay people on the internet and C2 mix-ups. I hope all of you are having a wonderful weekend. At time of recording, it has been about 4 weeks since Johnny dropped for Guilty Gear Strive. And I kind of wanted to talk about something specific that's been bugging me, but also that I don't think should be bugging me as much anymore. And that's the fact that I have been doing a lot worse on Johnny than I used to with Biken, and by extension, my Biken has gotten a lot worse just because I haven't been playing her as much. But that's okay, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. So I wanted to show off just some of the stuff that I've learned in the last couple of weeks playing Johnny, and how far I've progressed, and how it's still not even close to where I'm at with Biken. So, just in terms of starting with playstyle, like, these two are very much different. Johnny, from the way that I've played him and from what I've heard from other both pros in the scene and also just other people that I play with, Johnny is very much wanting to snowball. Like, he wants to get in right off the gate, like right off the bat, and steamroll people. And as you can see, I've already dropped a combo, so we're starting off great. But Johnny has like tools for playing neutral, but he doesn't really want to play neutral is the thing. He wants to hit you real hard and make sure that you die as fast as possible. Biken, on the other hand, is very okay, especially the way that I've played Biken. Biken is very okay playing neutral. Like, not at all opposed to trying to gain advantage with spacing and using her tools to generate decent combos and decent space control. Whereas with, like I said, with Johnny, he just wants to kill you as soon as possible. Like, so that's part one, right? Part two is that Johnny has a lot more limited movement. So he's got the standard, like, directional jumps, all of his dashes and stuff. Johnny cannot sprint. Johnny cannot run. He gets a dash. But he cannot dash block. That has been probably the biggest problem with playing Johnny over Biken, is that Johnny cannot dash block. And that makes swapping characters, so just like going cold turkey on one and moving all the way into another one without stopping or even taking a break, really challenging, turns out. So my tools for getting in are a lot more limited. I will say, Johnny has a very good tool for getting in. Like, this is a god normal. Like, 6K is the god normal. You can use it in certain things that I'm not very good at, but just as a tool for getting in on people, it makes for a really good anti-air, which is funny, just because of how fast he moves and how far up his leg goes. But it makes the challenge of fighting against people in the air not more difficult necessarily, but different. So, like, you have your standard anti-airs, like, 6P, but Johnny has his Mistfinder, which this is an excellent anti-air, and honestly, so is Insenga. But they're different from Biken's. Biken has a lot of interesting anti-airs, especially with, like, TK Yozansen and stuff like that. And it's breaking muscle memory, going, 2, 3, 6, 9, and then slash. Because that does nothing for me as Johnny. That throws the most useless card on the planet. But as Biken, it is insane, because TK Yozansen is... Not only did they change it so that it gives you more knockback, letting you take spacing control even further with Biken, but It hits people overhead, so not only is it a good tool for like on the ground anti-airs, but it also makes for a really good jump in overhead, which Johnny also does not have. Like Johnny has some other good tools, like hold on, I'm doing it wrong. Hang on. Yeah, I still like this is one of the other things that I haven't gotten right with Johnny is that Johnny also has a TK, and it is a lot more challenging for me for some reason. Yeah, so like that is an instant overhead. Baiken doesn't really need that, and Johnny kind of does because he just wants to keep you in the corner, pressuring you the entire time. So. Another important thing that has been hard for me to break free from is the different super inputs. So I'm actually not that bad at Joker Trick at all because that's Baiken's wake up reversal, and it's honestly not difficult to do. What is difficult for me to do is Johnny's invincible reversal is actually a pendulum. That's my name, being a pendulum, is really challenging for me to do, especially while I'm blocking. I haven't quite gotten down the timing for it yet. But being able to do this on Wake Up is incredibly important if you ever need to play defense. If you do, which, for as much as I said Johnny wants to steamroll people, is still going to happen. You are still going to need to learn how to play defense. No matter what character you're playing, you are going to need to learn how to block and how to beat people after they give up and it is your turn. And sometimes they don't even have to give up. Many Potemkins on the ladder have just forward mega fisted and walked into, oh god, I've already screwed it up, have walked into this, and they've died for it. So it's not just a matter of being able to do it while blocking, it's a matter of being able to do it at the right time. And thankfully, the hitbox on this thing is massive. Like, it hits, I think, does it hit here? Yeah, it hits, it has a surprisingly deceptive range, both horizontally and vertically. It isn't many an opponent that is jumping in on me. The biggest issue is actually Joker Trick. So, Joker Trick is very good. It is incredibly fast. I'll go to full screen here. It takes maybe a second to get from one end of the screen to the other. It also breaks shields and projectiles. It breaks Eddie and Happy Chaos Clone, which is huge. Like, that cannot be understated, that it breaks all clones. And it's like, it's a projectile, but it's coded weird, which is why it does that. That said, look at how long you have if you whiff that. To just, I don't know what the actual frame data is on this. Hang on, let me look that up real quick. Yeah, this has 27 recovery frames, and it is minus 16 on block. So if they predict that you are going to do this at any profitable range for them, you are going to get destroyed. So the biggest issue that I have is that, along with Baiken, these are two different things that I need to break free from. Is that I am awful about just not burning meter on a super. What I should be doing is more of stuff like that. Like, in the past couple of days, I have gotten so much value off of just, like, throwing somebody, not PRC, but I don't know why I'm getting the timing wrong on this now, but even that works. Just, like, throwing somebody into a red RC, and then going into a vault, like, to get card Oki. Like, Baiken can do the same thing. It's a little bit different, because you need to do it with Kabari. You can do it with either one. But the idea is the same. It's just a matter of execution. So, like, they have kind of the same... They have different facets of their gameplay that are similar, but from a technical perspective, they're entirely different. So, like, I remember the first day or two that I was playing Johnny, I kept trying to... Like, I would go in for a close slash, and then I would throw a card, because I would try to tatami afterwards. Like, it's a matter of breaking free from old habits and old methods of autopiloting. Doing stuff like that with Baiken is not... Like, that sequence doesn't happen with Baiken. Baiken's, like, combo sequences and even, like, neutral sequences are entirely different. Especially since, like... So, let's say I... Oh, shit. Hang on. Yeah, so, like, say I do something like that, and my opponent is stuck here in the corner, right? I could either throw a card or not. It doesn't... It does matter if they expect it, because if they block it, you're minus, and they can throw you into the wall. But... For sake of argument, let's say we're both just right here, right? What I want to do is pressure them a ton. So if they're blocking, they're very likely to just sit here and continue blocking. And what I want to do is in between block strings, I want to get in there. Oh, shit. All right. Gerald, cut this. So what I want to do is, while we're juggling them, and while they're recovering, I want to throw a card. Because that's going to let me do something like that. That is an entirely different offense string. It is entirely different ways of pressuring the opponent. Not to mention, Johnny doesn't have much that he can do from the air. He can do every form of Mistfinder in the air, which I don't know is all that useful, just because, like... So, obviously the overhead is incredibly useful. It's very good at jumping in on people. You gotta be careful if they expect it. But, like, this form of Mistfinder is not all that great, just because this reaches about as far. This reaches actually quite a bit farther. But this one is so much faster. So, really only you want this if you're up against, like, maybe a Faust or something. Whereas Baiken just had everything. Baiken had Sansen, Baiken had gun. Like, she could shoot people while in the air. Like, she could do a whole lot of different stuff. And the key part being is that it's different. And I'm still learning how to use Johnny's anti-air tools. Like I just said, like, that goes, I don't know, about as far as the burst gauge. Meanwhile, that reaches all the way to Baiken's icon. Like, I should probably be using that more. It really just depends. Not to mention, speaking of Mistfinder, the hardest thing about Johnny that I have experienced is that I have dropped the Mistfinder dash so many times just because it's very technical and not super easy to do. So, let's see if I can get it here. Oh, whoops. Well, it would help if I knew how to do it. God damn it. Alright, I'll get it this time. Nope. That wasn't even right. God damn it. There we go. So, like that. Like, that's not super easy to do. Just because, like, you hold the stance. So, like, The reason that this has been super hard for me is because the holding the stance and then letting go of it at the right time after dashing has been challenging to say the least. Not to mention that, like, I will often just do the wrong version of Mistfinder. So, like, let's say I'm going into, like, an offense string here, right? So, I'll go, like, generally that's my normal offense string, right? But sometimes I'll go, like, no, that's also just wrong. I have done that more times than I can count. Like, I cannot count that high. The amount of times that I have done slash Mistfinder after that combo rather than either punch or kick. So, like, this is what you should be doing. Actually, it's also not because kick doesn't hit either. So, like, for that, you need to do the punch Mistfinder. Like, but I have done this Mistfinder so many times just because people aren't expecting it to be a low. So, I think that's all I really had to say about this. The point I want to make here is that I've been at this for just under a month. I've been at this for exactly 4 weeks at this point, right? And I'm about to put into practice all of the work that I've done. I've got locals this weekend with Lars Canyon at Dust Up. And then I've got Transatlantic Grindstone the following weekend with our Strive Struggle. And the point that I want to make is that you can make a lot of progress even if you switch characters so soon. So, like, if nobody's seen it, please look up the John video, because that was just a calamity of disasters from my first day playing Johnny. And look at how far I've come. Like, I can actually do real combos. Never mind. Actually, I suck at this character. But, like, I figured out other pressure strings. Like, I've done all of this in the span of a month. And the important thing to note here is that it's going to take time. No matter what character you're learning, no matter what you're doing, especially if you have taken as much time as I have with a character, Biken. I put almost a year's worth of work into Biken. And I'm not done with Biken. I'm going to say that right now. I'm not done with Biken. I really do enjoy playing Biken. And I like a lot of the cool new stuff that she's gotten. But I wanted to learn how to play Johnny. And I decided to do this challenge. And over the next week, I'm going to see the fruits of my labor. Hopefully. So, I just want to say thank you all for watching. I'm looking to put out more videos kind of like this, or I talk about certain aspects of being a mediocre fighting game player, but not casual, if you know what I mean. And we'll have to see where that goes. But if you could leave a like, maybe a comment, a really nice one, because I'm still kind of sick. And it would make me feel better if you said that you liked my video. And then maybe subscribe if you did like my video. I would greatly appreciate all of that. So thank you all for this. I've got a couple more projects coming in later in the month that I hope I'm very excited to put out, and I hope you all enjoy. So have a great weekend, everybody.